Rinse and repeat. That is where we are at this portion of the season for the Colorado Rockies as they lose tonight to the Atlanta Braves. Your final score 5-2. Nothing rocking with the offense. And I had to double check this before I even said it on the open because it is that hard for me to believe. The Colorado Rockies struck out 16 times tonight. 16 strikeouts for the Colorado Rockies in yet another uncompetitive baseball game. My word. Let's break it all down for y'all on tonight's Locked On Rockies POSTCAST. Let's get into it, folks.
You are Locked On Rockies POSTCAST, powered by Mile High Sports, part of Locked On Sports Denver on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
It is your Locked On Rockies POSTCAST. Locked On Sports, your team every day. I'm your host, Aniello Piro. You can follow me on social media at Media by AP. And we get to talk about the Colorado Rockies tonight, folks, as we do just about every night of the week. And today's episode of your Locked On Rockies POSTCAST is brought to you by the fine folks over at eBay Motors. From brakes to exhaust kits and beyond, eBay Motors has over 122 million parts to keep your ride or die alive. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to bring home that big win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions, they do apply. eBay guaranteed fit, only available to U.S. customers. And do me a favor, folks. Make sure to subscribe to the Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. That way you guys are never going to, I mean, I'm sure some of you are okay with missing some Locked On Rockies postcasts. I say that satirically, of course. But we're going to have these postcasts going on just after just about each and every Rockies game. But I know a lot of you Rocky fans out there are also probably general Denver sports fans. Well, I am also the host of the Locked On Broncos postcast as well as the Locked On Buffs postcast. So we'll have two football shows coming up for you guys this weekend as well. So make sure to subscribe to that Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel so you don't miss out on that. But where do we begin? I think we've got to start with the lineup tonight. We'll talk about Bradley Blaylock and his outing in the second segment of the show tonight. He struggled in the start, but rallied, I guess you could say, for the rest of his start, but didn't make a difference. Bradley Blaylock could have given up 12 runs tonight. and with the way that this Rockies lineup is hitting right now, it just doesn't matter. I mean, I might be able to go out there and pitch and whiff the Rockies lineup down and mow them down in order right now. I mean, it is that bad. It is that embarrassing that we're at this point in the season. I mean, it is borderline. I don't even want to. It is borderline Bush League. I mean, it's just, at least they're not the White Sox. Like the White Sox, I think I heard something today on the radio that the White Sox have only won like 5 of their last 40 or 5 of their last 50 games. There's something like 5-45. If there's a Locked On White Sox postcast, I'm praying for you, brother. I mean, that is just brutal. So they're not the White Sox. So that is the bar that is set for you know the cellar for Major League Baseball teams this year. But they are still the Rockies at the end of the day. And like I said, guys, they struck out 16 times. 1-6, not 6. 16 times. They put the ball in play 11 times. Think about that. Out of all the at-bats, the 27 at-bats that they took tonight, only 11 of those at-bats resulted in the ball being in play. Not even getting a hit, in play. 16 strikeouts. Their season high is 17, and they came this close to matching that. And, you know, I spent a majority of the show or a good portion of the show last night talking about, you know, the youth movement and kind of embracing the suck and everything that comes with that. Hold on, let me adjust my camera. I changed my setup tonight, so I want to make sure that I'm nice and eye level with you guys. But it's one of those situations where I mean, like this, like I said, 1, 2, 3 Cancun. 1, 2, 3, 3 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 5 weeks, however many weeks are left in the baseball season. I mean, this season just needs to end for the Rockies. And are there still some positives? Are there still some silver linings? Sure, absolutely. I love watching Brenton Doyle play. I love watching Ezekiel Tovar play. Kyle Freeland was solid last night before he got removed with the blister. But the body of work is just demoralizing at this point. Like every time the Rockies play, there's just another reason to get yourself down. It's hard to find reasons of optimism with this Rockies club right now. I mean, it just seems like everything that they do is coming up 7-2 offsuit, to use a poker term. I mean, they can't even get a pocket pair. They can't even get a high card. They can't even get a face card. I mean, what the Rockies are enduring right now is demoralizing. Like I said, I mean, it's hard to pick yourself back up from these games. And I'm sure that clubhouse is in disarray, to a certain extent, or at least maybe just kind of coasting mode right now. I mean, looking at the output tonight, everybody struck out. Think about that. There was not a single batter in the Rockies lineup tonight that did not strike out. Every single batter struck out at least one time tonight. Charlie Blackmon punched out once. Ezekiel Tovar punched out twice. Brenton Doyle punched out twice. Ryan McMahon struck out once. Brendan Rodgers struck out twice. Michael Toglia struck out once. Nolan Jones struck out twice. Sam Hilliard struck out once. Drew Romo struck out 3 times, Golden Sombrero. And even in a pinch hit at bat, the lone at bat of the night for Jake Cave, strikeout. I mean, 16 strikeouts to 5 hits. Oh, and they also generated 5 walks. So obviously nothing really came of it. But 16 strikeouts is just unbearable. Absolutely unbearable. And in regards to the production run-wise for the Rockies tonight, both of their runs coming here in the top half of the second inning. Sam Hilliard, an RBI triple that brought home Nolan Jones. Charlie Blackmon, his 20th double of the year. That brought around Sam Hilliard to score. And that's all she wrote for this lifeless Rockies offense tonight. That's it, folks. Nothing else. 16 strikeouts. 16 strikeouts. They put the ball in play 11 times. I know I'm repeating myself, but like it's just like I almost have to keep saying it to believe it. Like it's just that bad with the Rockies right now. And, if you're a regular listener of the postcast, you know that I love to harp on Ezekiel Tovar and Brenton Doyle being the life source of this Rockies lineup. Well, both of them struck out twice tonight, and everybody else was kind of followed in suit. It was just uncompetitive at bat after uncompetitive at bat after uncompetitive at bat. And the Rockies limp to the finish line in this game tonight and just go down in absolutely sorry fashion, losing to the Atlanta Braves 5-2. I think I got to do a FanDuel read later in the show as well. Hopefully you bet against the Rockies. Hopefully you've been betting against the Rockies because they are just that bad right now. And like I said, we'll spend a majority of the second segment breaking down Bradley Blalock, his start tonight. But Charlie Morton, the veteran for the Atlanta Braves, mowed him down. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, as we mentioned. Both of those runs for the Rockies coming in the top half of the second inning. 3 walks. And here's the best part. He only accounted in his 5 innings for half of the strikeouts. Charlie Morton struck out 8 Rockies tonight. The bullpen accounted for the other 8. So starter, reliever, whatever it is, whichever way you slice it right now, this Rockies couldn't hit a freight truck if they wanted to. And I know maybe Aniello, that's a little harsh. What else am I supposed to say? You want me to spin zone it? I can spin zone it if you want. It's just they're down bad right now. They've got a lot of young players. They're building for the future. Nonsense. There's a way to build for the future and not be this embarrassing on a game in and game out basis because that's where we're at right now. I'm trying to find something positive to say about the lineup tonight. Sam Hilliard with the triple, nice. You love to see the triple. Hard to generate those. You always love to see Charlie Blackmon up there, 20th double of the season. Nice. But like when it comes to legitimate things that the Rocky fan can grasp onto and feel good about, not a whole lot. Not a lot of depth there. Like I said, I've been stoked that Kyle Freeland, who I know wasn't the starter tonight, but like I'm just thinking back to last night. Wow, something positive to talk about, right? And Bradley Bradley Blalock settled into a decent groove after he got through a disastrous first inning, gave up 4 runs in the first frame. So the damage is already done at that point. But we're just picking up the scraps right now. That's where we're at. It's September. Football starts this week, right? Like, this is when the dog days of the season. I mean, is this even technically the dog days? Like, this is just kind of like the end of the road, right? Especially for teams like the White Sox, the Marlins, the Rockies, teams that have absolutely no, I mean, they were eliminated from postseason contention last night with the Rocks. But here we are, folks. Here we are. A 5-2 demoralizing loss for the Rockies tonight to the Atlanta Braves. They are 51-89. 51-89. Looking like their second consecutive 100-loss season. Something that prior to last season they were able to avoid in the franchise's 20-plus years in existence. And now you're looking at it 2 seasons in a row. What do they do from here? What do they address in the offseason? I'm not sure. But all I know is it ain't working. And tonight was a stark reminder of just how far off the Colorado Rockies are from being competitive. Yikes. All right, let's hit our first break. When we come back, we'll continue on with the conversation. Like I said, let's dive into Bradley Blalock's start. Rough beginning, decent ending, but the damage, unfortunately, was already done. We'll hit a break, come back, and do just that right here on your Locked On Rockies postcast. Stick with me, folks. All right, so let me tell you about our friends over at eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions, they do apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to customers in the United States. And every time I do the eBay Motors read, I like to give some personal experience. I guess it's not experience, but I am keeping my ride or die alive. I've had the same only car I've ever had in my life, and I'm running that baby to the ground, man. I got no car payment, paid that thing off. Like, let's go, right? And if anything big ever comes up with my car, I'm going to eBay Motors. And funny story about that, I was actually hitting some golf balls this evening before the game at the driving range, and I ran into a buddy of mine that I went to high school with. And he was like, oh my gosh, like, I haven't seen you, this and that. And him and I played high school baseball together. And we were just kind of taking a trip down memory lane and, this and that. And he's like, oh man, remember when you used to pick me up in your car and we used to go to practice? And I was like, I'm still driving that car, baby. Still driving that same whip. And like I said, millions of parts for your MVP. Win every time with parts that fit your ride only at eBay Motors. They are my go-to when it comes to my car blowing up in my face, for lack of a better phrase. And I know it will be yours too. Be sure to check out our friends over at eBay Motors and let them know that Locked On Rockies sent ya. Okay, welcome on back into your Locked On Rockies postcast. I'm your host, Aniello Piro. I hope you guys are hanging in there out there on this Wednesday evening as the Rockies lose tonight 5-2 to the Atlanta Braves. Another uncompetitive game from Los Rocks. As the offense, we spent the entirety of the first segment trying to figure out what to say about the offense as they punched out 16 times tonight. You don't like to see that, but you can follow me on social media at Media by AP and make sure to subscribe to the Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. That way you guys never miss an episode of your Locked On Rockies postcast, your Locked On Buffs postcast, and your Locked On Broncos postcast. But let's talk about the pitching here tonight. Bradley Blalock, as we had mentioned, got shelled early in this game. It is worth noting, and I'm not trying to give any excuses right now, but Bradley Blalock was pitching in front of like 70 members of his friends and family tonight. And, I believe he's from the Georgia area. So a bit of a homecoming from him. So you expect the nerves to be on 10. You expect the nerves to be a little bit stronger and higher than they were, or, than they would be in a normal start, right? When you're pitching in front of your friends and family. And that was evident as Bradley Blalock was just roughed up out of the gate in this one. He did manage to get Michael Harris the second to line out for the first out of the inning. He actually got the first 2 outs at the bottom of the half of the first inning. Which is even more frustrating when you allow 4 runs to come across the plate with 2 outs in the inning. That is awful. Michael Harris the second and Jorge Soler both lining out to begin the game. And then this is when disaster started to set in. So a good start for Bradley Blalock through the first two outs. And it's like, okay, we're 1 out away. Let's settle into a groove here potentially. And he is unable to do that as Marcell Ozuna hits his 28th double of the season to left field. And then Matt Olson himself follows it up with a double, his 32nd of the year. That brings around Marcell Ozuna to score 1-0 Atlanta, right? Can't stop the bleeding. A walk to Travis d'Arnaud. And then Jared Klenick, his 14th long ball of the season, puts the Atlanta Braves up 4-0. Walks will kill you. They will destroy you. And Travis d'Arnaud, not exactly the most, he's fine offensively. Not exactly lighting the world on fire. Not a guy that you want to pitch around. I mean, he's hitting 245 this season. But at the end of the day, the walk catches up to him, the doubles catch up to him, and then Jared Kelenic just delivering that gut punch, like I said, his 14th home run of the season. This one to right field. And it really almost didn't stop there. After the home run from Kelenic, he walked Orlando Arcia, and then mercifully, Gio Urshela flied out, and that ended the inning. I mean, it could have been a lot worse for Bradley Blalock in his outing tonight. But damage done, as I had mentioned there, in the 4th inning. And then, I mean, it was pretty much zeros across the board. Like I had mentioned in the first segment, the Rockies lone 2 runs of the game, came in the top half of the 2nd inning, no runs in the 3rd for either team, 4th, 5th, and then the Braves add an additional run there in the 6th inning off of the Rockies bullpen. And that comes off of an RBI from Jorge Soler, an RBI single with Michael Harris rounding the bases and coming home for that one. But just a disappointing start tonight, whichever way you slice it for Bradley Blalock. Again, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 2 strikeouts. But outside of just the earned runs allowed, the biggest concern for Bradley Blalock is 6 walks. And I was able to catch a portion of Buddy Black's postgame press conference right before I started doing the show. And he even mentioned, he pulled him aside after he yanked him out of the game and said, hey, buddy, no pun or black. That's not a pun, but hey, Buddy Black, my bad. He basically went up to Bradley Blalock and said that just can't happen. That's unacceptable. And it's less about the frustration of issuing the free pass, but it's more so about how the walk can compound into stress for the starting pitcher or the bullpen or the relief pitcher for that matter. And, when it's one thing to give up, 3 walks in a game, right? Maybe even 4 on some nights. You never really want to try to get that high, but not everyone's going to have their A+ stuff every night, but 6 walks. I mean, Buddy even kind of hinted at that's not going to work at the big league level. And we know that Bradley Blalock is one of those midseason call-ups who was in the bullpen at one point. Now he finds himself in the rotation, right? Rocky's doing a little soul searching, trying to figure out what they got with these guys. And he didn't really make the most of his opportunity tonight. Yes, I think, it was nice to see him settle into a groove after that first inning. It shows you that he can be competent on the mound. And he's had some decent starts this year. But you just, it's much like Austin Gomber, where you can't allow the one big inning, right? You give a run here, you give a couple runs there, even 3 runs, right? But you got to limit the damage. And I guess in theory, or not even in theory, but I guess to a certain extent, they were able to do that. Or Bradley Blalock was able to do that because he had put up zeros the rest of his outing. But those 4 runs with this lifeless offense, that's the other thing, is the margin for error is this big right now for the starting pitcher, or even the relief pitcher for that matter, because you cannot count on this Rockies offense at Coors Field or away from Coors Field. It doesn't matter at this point in the year. You cannot bank on these guys to dig you out of the hole. And I've said it numerous times on the postcast throughout the course of the season. You can't put yourself in these holes and expect to crawl yourself out of them. 4-0 tonight before you can even blink. No wonder the Rockies, obviously they're professionals and they're going to go out there and try to give it their best shot, but they were going to lose. The second they put up 4 runs in the first inning, this game was over. Over. Played three hours for nothing. You knew what the outcome was going to be. All we need to know is what the scores were. And thankfully, the Rockies at least scored a couple runs tonight. Thankfully. Because we know how bad it's been as of late. Did you get any sort of offense? But frustrating game tonight for Bradley Blalock, in particular, that first inning. Again, one last time. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 runs, all 4 earned, 6 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Jake Bird, 2/3 of an inning pitched, couldn't even get through a full inning on his own. 2 hits, 1 earned run allowed. Peralta was fine, a little flamethrower, and Halverson fine as well, a little flamethrower, inning and a third. And that's all she wrote. That's literally all she wrote. Think about this. The Rockies, between their starting rotation and their bullpen tonight, had 6 strikeouts. 6. The Braves struck out the Rockies lineup 16 times. 16, 1-6. Yikes. All right, let's hit our final break. When we come back, we'll put a bow on the show. A couple of closing thoughts on the game tonight, the season in general, and then we'll also take a look ahead at tomorrow's game as the Rockies try to salvage at least one victory in this series. So stick with us. We'll come back and do just that right here on your Locked On Rockies postcast. Back in a few. All right, you guys, let me tell you about our friends over at FanDuel, because you're going to want to hear about this from our friends at FanDuel. I was actually firing up some bets myself, getting ready for the NFL season, and FanDuel Sportsbook is my personal favorite sportsbook, and I know it will be yours too if you are not currently a member of the FanDuel community. So let me tell you about them real quick. Excuse me. Let me get my script up here. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com and download America's #1 sportsbook. I love FanDuel. I know that you will too. Be sure to check out our friends over at FanDuel, and they'll take great care of you. Ooh, hold on. All right, let me also tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks here real quick, guys, because Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Guys, there are so many reasons to get involved with Prize Picks. Their bonuses are incredible. Get a load of this. Where did my eyesight go? Oh, here we go. 1 Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prize Picks every week in September. That's right. Only 1 yard gets you an automatic win in every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss out on this deal on Prize Picks because it's gone when September ends. And guys, Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Prize Picks invented the flex play as well, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks does not hit. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. And speaking of games, real quick, let me tell you about our friends over at Game Time, folks, because just because baseball season's starting to wind down doesn't mean that there's incredible offers from our friends over at Game Time. And it is my favorite place to get my tickets, guys. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. Let me tell you about some of the awesome features on Game Time, guys. I adore the all-in pricing. When you toggle this feature on the app or on the website, It shows you the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. You can also get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. Plus, the lowest ticket price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Plus, Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. All right, welcome on back into your Locked On Rockies postcast. I'm your host, Aniello Piro. Hope you guys are doing all right out there as the Rockies, unfortunately, uncompetitive in this ball game tonight against the Atlanta Braves, losing 5-2. We talked about Bradley Blalock and his struggles tonight. Charlie Morton in veteran form, mowing down the Rockies lineup. Might not get much better tomorrow. I've got to be honest with you folks. So we shall see what happens with the Rocks in that game. But before we get to the preview of the pitching matchups for tomorrow, buckle up. If you're watching these games, if you're paying attention to the Rockies down the stretch, like I said, God bless you. It is not the easiest thing in the world to do. And I just unfortunately think that, maybe it's just because it's the Braves and they're a good team, right? But we saw with Baltimore, we saw the Giants work the Rockies. The Rockies' season high in strikeouts in a game is 17. That came against San Francisco earlier in the season. And so this is just kind of the reality of where we're at with this Rockies club right now. And I don't really see anything getting much better. You know, you just want to see, you kind of have to lean into the suck. I think that was my theme on last night's show, is embrace the suck. Just kind of understand that you kind of have to just throw some guys out there, see what you got, and try to just take some inventory of what your future looks like. And, you know, I mentioned how they were eliminated from postseason contention technically last night. They've been out of postseason contention since game one, if we're being honest with ourselves. But we'll have to see, you know, what the future holds with this organization, because you're looking at your second consecutive 100-loss season, something that they were able to avoid for 20-plus years in the franchise's existence. And there were some bad Rockies teams in those early 2000s. And these teams are setting the bar even not higher, lower. So we shall see. But the reason I said it might only get worse, you know who's on the mound for the Rocks tomorrow? Austin Gomber. You know who struggled tonight in the first inning? Bradley Blalock. You know who historically struggles in the first inning? Austin Gomber. And we'll see if Mr. Gomber can navigate those first inning woes. 4-10 with a 4.69 earned run average and 102 strikeouts on the season for Austin Gomber in his age 30 season. We'll see what Mr. Gomber can do on the bump tomorrow. But last time out against the Baltimore Orioles, he was actually fine. 6 innings pitched, 8 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. But, I can't be so hard on Austin Gomber. His last 4 starts have actually been solid. He went 6 innings against the Diamondbacks, 7 innings against Washington, 6 innings against the Yanks, and 6 innings against Baltimore. So, and let's see if I could do some quick mental math. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 earned runs over his last 4 starts. So you can't really hate that too much. But I don't know about y'all. I don't know how much confidence I have in Austin Gomber tomorrow, or really just the Rockies in general. I shouldn't just narrow it all down to Austin Gomber. But knowing that he's probably going to get limited run support, he needs to be perfect if the Rockies, damn near perfect, I should say, if the Rockies want to have a chance to win this game. And it'll be Reynaldo Lopez on the mound for the Braves tomorrow. He's been dominant this season, 8-4 with a 2.00 ERA to pair with 125 strikeouts. So this Rockies lineup, which is already struggling, is going to have their hands full tomorrow. Lopez's last time out came on the 30th of August against Philly. He mowed him down, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, only 1 run allowed to pair with 6 strikeouts. So like I said, the Rockies are going to have their work cut out for them as they try to thread the needle. You need 2 things to go right if you're the Rockies tomorrow, if you want to have a chance to win this game. You need Austin Gomber to have a clean first inning, and you need the lineup to, hey, McFly, wake up. The offense needs to wake up. I'm saying they need to score 5-6 runs tomorrow. At least they need to wake up. So we'll see if the Rockies lineup can do just that. We'll see if Austin Gomber can put forth a quality start. And I guess we'll just have to see where the chips fall tomorrow. But let's take a look at this real quick. Should be a day game. Yep. Oh, no, it's an evening game. 5:20 p.m. Oh, that's interesting for series finale. 5:20 first pitch here Mountain Time. So we'll be back at it again at Mañana with another episode of your Locked On Rockies postcast. But that's going to do it for me, folks. Make sure to subscribe to the Locked On Sports Denver YouTube channel. That way you never miss an episode of the Locked On Rockies postcast, Buffs or Broncos postcast as well. And you can follow me on social at Media by AP as well. But all right, lifeless. Rocks lose tonight 5-2. We'll see if better days are in store tomorrow. But that is it for me tonight, folks. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. We'll talk to you guys mañana.